Now that Pluto is fully in Aquarius, where it will stay until 2044, I want to direct you to 3 areas of your chart that are going to be working with this energy personally and intensely. There are 3 specific areas of your chart where this Pluto transit is going to be evolving you, changing your reality, changing your life, and also connecting you to new dreams and wild potentials that you probably never conceived of before. So you're going to locate in your chart where you have Aquarius by house placement. The house where you have 0 degrees of Aquarius is where Pluto is moving into that area of your life. This is where you understand that each of the houses in astrology relates to a particular area of life, environment, themes. The houses are important for how we structure a natal astrology chart, and use whichever house system resonates with you. That's very important. There's no right or wrong with house systems. It's simply whatever resonates with you. Wherever Pluto in Aquarius is moving in your chart is where you are being required to face fears, to look at yourself with brutal self-honesty, to understand how all layers of your energy are operating. And there's some things we see more readily, more freely. And there's other parts of ourselves that we can be very unconscious around. And that's exactly where the Pluto energy guides you to. Pluto pulls you in to your own underbelly, to your own shadow, and your lower consciousness. And so Pluto moving through your chart is revealing where you're doing that deeper transformational work. And Pluto in Aquarius has a different intention than Pluto in Capricorn. I had a previous video for you here on YouTube discussing Pluto in Capricorn journey. Now, as we discuss the Pluto in Aquarius journey, the energy is very different. Every astrology sign is very different from the sign before it and after it. So for all the ways that Capricorn is pragmatic, traditional, authoritative, structured, slow-paced, strategic, Aquarius, fast-moving, unconventional, quantum, chaotic, disruptive, awakening, highly creative. This is a very different energy signature that Pluto is now in, asking you, requiring you really, to be more aware of your innate genius, untapped brilliance, and future potentials that maybe you never thought could be a part of your reality. Pluto in Aquarius is moving through an area of your chart in a house that's now pulling you into what those fears might be, what's not working, what in your life or in your energy is preventing you from honing in to more of that authentic energy that you have, where maybe previously you thought, I have to be a certain way, I have to follow this path, I have to have a certain job title or live my life in a certain way. Aquarius wants you to throw all that out and start with your authentic self. And so here comes Pluto destroying all of your boundaries, barriers, fears, any parts of yourself that were unconsciously self-limiting, wants to remove traditional roles and programming, especially societal, cultural programming. And the Aquarius energy wants us to think wider, higher, bigger, takes us off planet, takes us to other areas of the cosmos we've never been before, takes your energy to new places that perhaps you previously judged as being weird, scary, not useful. Pluto in Aquarius brings up where you have any programming around being ostracized, being different, an outcast, the black sheep of the family. Pluto in Aquarius wants you to now own it as part of how you are unique and how you are here to access more of your power. And this means you're going to have experiences that test and require you to step into these new parts of yourself for the first time ever in your life, to love and accept how you're different, to honor diversity, how to be more inclusive, how to be more aware that we are each our own unique frequencies on the planet, and to allow that to be your perspective and how that shapes how you view the collective as well as your place in it. Pluto in Aquarius is driving you to greater individuality and authenticity in that house in your chart. And depending on the house system you use, it depends on how long Pluto in Aquarius will be in that house. And of course, depending on how your house is constructed, how your chart is constructed, it's unique for everyone, basically. But Pluto in Aquarius by house placement is where the area of your life is requiring you to be more of yourself, to see it as a powerful development in your own evolution. Now, this means that Pluto in Aquarius is going to dig in to the dreams you've had for yourself. Aquarius relates to hopes, visions, dreams, where you're going in your life, what you want to experience and call in. You're going to have new visions of what's possible in your life as you own your unique self more. Now, I realize that as I say this, it sounds very trite. Like if you've been in self-help, if you've been on a personal awareness journey, you're like, Molly, I've heard this a million times. I'm an individual, own who I am, I'm different, I'm special. Pluto's requiring it now. This is where you're going to feel the energy drastically working with you that you've never experienced before. Because for all the ways we can say those quotes and those, overused sayings, this is an energy shift that requires you to power up and to really own it. That's going to be a very big part of Pluto in Aquarius. So what does this mean? It means many things. But one of the first things that comes to mind here is that Aquarius is about the people you know. It's acquaintances, friendships, people you know at events, that you see occasionally and that you know casually. Aquarius also has a frequency of connecting you to tribal influences, the people that you feel like we have this in common, we have these shared passions, we have these shared hobbies. These are the people I see, every time I go to a specific event or, that I'm hanging out with. That's also what's going to change. We're going to start meeting new people who relate to us at that core authentic level. And that means that Pluto in Aquarius is going to remove people who don't fully see you, who don't fully accept you, who might not fully like you or understand you. And this is where that Pluto energy is really emotional and intense, because it pulls us into our fears and our internal energies around rejection, abandonment, endings. You can only go so far with some people in your life. It's run its course. The friendship has run its course. Hanging out with some people, you're not on the same path. You're on different trajectories. It's going to be even bigger and universal. And how I see the energy working is that it like shatters. It shatters those connections to some extent. And you could feel like you have this period of being very alone. And Aquarius is comfortable in being independent. Aquarius is okay. In fact, that can be a preference. Leave me alone. Don't knock on my door. And so what happens is that you have this period of coming back to yourself. And this allows you to really understand more of who you are now and to connect with more of that authentic part of yourself that you realize, I didn't really enjoy hanging out with those people that much, or I really wasn't into that shared hobby. I'm no longer interested in horseback riding. I'm no longer interested in something like I thought I was, and I realized I'm not really there anymore. I want something new and different. And so after that period of being alone, then the Aquarius energy is ready to go back out and have more of those authentic connections with people who are a better match, a better energy fit. They're on a more similar trajectory as you. And that's where you start to feel a renewal in your sense of self, because now you've fully owned who you are. You've removed any of the facades or fake personas or things that aren't truly about your authentic self. And then as you regroup and strengthen up, it calls in those new people. So we're going to be having these turnovers of people in our life. We're going to have new people enter, maybe spontaneously and out of the blue. That's how Aquarius works. There could be those instant connections. Those people that you meet that you feel like I've traveled with them in other lifetimes, and now we're just picking up where we left off. It's kind of like, so anyways, as I was saying, in that previous lifetime, blah, 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 blah. It's like this instant sense of, this is who I am. These are my people. This is my tribe. That's going to be happening for many people. And so there's going to be an understanding that the turnovers are right on time. They're not personal. They're energetic. They're energetic. Another area of life that we will be experiencing big changes in Aquarius relates to technology, social media, the internet, how we use devices, what we allow in our lives, as well as how all of these energies now are going to become not only more regular, but really advance us. I mean, this is big evolution that we haven't experienced, and it's taking us into really big places. So the Aquarius areas of your chart are going to be dynamic and fast moving, is where you're going to be experiencing more of these upgrades and asking you to remain in your power around technology, electronics, devices, what you allow, what you consent to, what works for you and what doesn't. So I wanted to mention just a few things about Pluto and Aquarius. Of course, there's a whole list of areas that Pluto in Aquarius is going to transform. But this is a heads up that the house where Pluto in Aquarius is for you, is going to be requiring you to become more authentic, more real, more aware of what your energy connects to in the world and what you use on a regular basis that can affect your energy. So that's the first area of your chart you're looking at. The house that Pluto in Aquarius is transiting through. The second and third areas of your chart relate to the planets that rule Aquarius. And there are two. Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. And Saturn was the planet we could see furthest with our naked eye until we discovered Uranus. Saturn and Uranus are very different. They are beautiful contradictions of energies and expressions. And they both provide insight into how the Aquarius energy operates and works. Saturn is traditional, structured, methodical. Saturn relates to our physical reality, the constraints of time, boundaries, limitations. You only have so much money in your bank account. You only have so much time in a day. What do you have access to? is something that Saturn considers important? What is realistic for you to create, to build, to commit to? Saturn is very responsible. And when you think about Saturn with the rings around the planet, and those rings are the limitations, boundaries, and constraints of the physical world. But Saturn is where we have to invest time, energy, and effort to get results. And as we do so, we are rewarded. You want to identify where your natal Saturn is in your chart, because Pluto in Aquarius is going to be energetically speaking to your natal Saturn, which can be in any astrology sign. And this Saturn is a grounding connector. Think of that in terms of electrical wiring systems and how you need that grounding conductor that connects you to the earth. Saturn, as the co-ruler of Aquarius, ensures that you're not taken off planet, or at least you don't stay there, that you are still grounded in the physical. You're aware of how you are going to approach these Aquarian changes. And that's part of the Saturn practicality. What's the plan? How are we getting there? How's this going to happen? And your natal Saturn is going to be giving you information and insights into how you stay grounded here in the physical world, connected to the earth, while all these crazy advancements happen. In 5 years, do we all have robots in our houses? In 10 years, are we relying on different modes of transportation? Personal flying cars? Are we getting around through hoverboards? What are we doing? Saturn is going to be providing us with the reality of how this works. Saturn is also going to be, okay, what's the warranty? What do you do for repairs? Where do you take your personal flying car to get fixed? So the Saturn influence is going to be important here. And Saturn in your chart is how you approach those matters. It's how you are responsible, how you honor limitations, how you commit to what you're taking on and you're seeing it through. So that's the second area of your chart here that I want you to look at, is that yes, Pluto in Aquarius is moving through a particular house in your chart, but your natal Saturn is how you handle the changes. Your grounding conductor, how you're staying rooted and stabilized amongst all of these fast-paced moving developments. Then, the third area of your chart that I want you to look at is your natal Uranus. And Uranus is another co-ruler of Aquarius. And Uranus is where you're here to do something on your own terms. So Uranus is very different than Saturn, because Saturn has the rules. And Uranus says, I don't need rules. I'll figure it out. I'll know what to do. I can put that IKEA furniture together on my own, thank you very much. So Uranus is where we feel this desire to be ourselves, to be very individual. And wherever Uranus is in your chart is where you experience fast-moving changes throughout your life. Is where the energies are less stable. Saturn is where you need to stabilize. Uranus is where you don't want to stabilize. You can often work with the changes of life. You can often deal with things being fast and temporary. Uranus can be the energy of, I gotta hustle to get this done. It's only for the short term. Uranus is where you're here to be individual, to do things on your own terms, in your own way, without being told what to do. And it's where you reject external authority because you want to access your own brilliance. So in your chart, your natal Uranus placement signifies parts of yourself that are going to feel freer, that could come more alive here and be excited to figure it out, to take a wild chance, to have some kind of quantum breakthrough. Because that Uranus energy is going to feel supported in understanding the Pluto in Aquarius directive. So yes, Pluto will destruct, destroy, transform, and evolve. Pluto in Aquarius, again, is where you're going to have big changes in your life during the evolutionary process. And Uranus is where you're going to have the solutions, the breakthroughs. I know how to handle this. Here's what I'll do. This is where things are coming together. There's going to be more liberation, potentially, more freedom. So it's a very interesting formula because as you look at these three areas of your chart, it's different for everyone, and it could be difficult putting the pieces together. Because if you have Pluto in Aquarius moving through your 10th house of career, changing the trajectory of your profession, but maybe you have Saturn in the 3rd house, which wants to know the plan, the specifics. How do I think about, I need to think this through. Wherever Saturn is in your chart is where you need to go slower. But wherever Uranus is where the energies go faster. So there's going to be an interesting formula here that you're going to put together. And it's not about figuring it out, meaning it's not like there's one answer or one thing you need to know. You can't know it. There's no way to know it. But what you're going to know is your own energy and your own needs. So Pluto in Aquarius by house, you can see this is where my life is changing powerfully over the next 20 years. Your natal Saturn, this is what I need to do to feel grounded, to feel that I have this under control, and to connect to how I can approach it and what I need. And then your natal Uranus is where more information, ideas, brilliance, and wild possibilities are going to show up that could be blindsiding and crazy and ridiculous, and also huge breakthroughs. So this is designed to be something you sit with and you just connect it for yourself. Again, there's no answer here. There's no like, okay, Molly, I'm going to figure this out. That's not what this is. This is simply you knowing your energy, being more empowered with how to handle and work through the life-changing Pluto transits, and to know what to look for in your chart to access your energy and to work with it as a tool, because that's one of the best gifts of astrology. It's a navigational tool that connects us to this cosmic energy system. And I hope this gives you ways to practically look at your chart and understand what is best for your energy. So thank you for joining me. I hope this has been helpful. And thank you for being here on my YouTube channel. I'll be back soon with another video. And of course, we will keep talking about this Pluto in Aquarius journey because it's going to be a wild one.